has over 10,000 hours in FPS games, enough to master them according to a famous quote. But he has definitely not mastered the FPS craft. He's not even masters in Apex, which alone he has over 7,000 hours in, and he's only plat, meaning he's about your average Apex gamer. This isn't inherently bad, apart from the fact that our player is actively trying to improve and go up the ranks, with the goal of hitting masters, maybe even pred, and possibly try playing competitive. And at this point in time, he has over 4,000 hours in his current rank of high plat. He is the definition of hard stuck. So let's go meet him, find out why he thinks he can't rank up, and then get a pro coach to review his gameplay and see if we can help him out a little. Also, for any of you viewers watching, this video is basically a free coaching session, so it'll be super useful.
I ain't slept in months, y'all. I so red I can't see what's real. Roll me up a blunt.
Everyone meet ItzDonnie, the world's most experienced plat player, with over 4,000 hours in this rank alone while actively trying to rank up. Our goal is simply to find out what's stopping him from improving, why he's hard stuck, and help enable him to improve and thus rank up. To do that, we have a pro coach who's going to do everything from talk to him, review his gameplay, look at his mechanics, and everything else you can think of. But first, let's meet Donnie. Yo, how you doing, dude?
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. So, Donnie, you have probably 10,000 plus hours in FPS games and about 6,000 plus in Apex, is that correct?
Yeah, just about 7,000 in Apex.
Okay, 7,000 in Apex, got you. But yet, still, you seem to be stuck at around the same rank of like high plat, low diamond, is this correct?
Yeah, very much so.
Hey, nothing wrong with that, as long as you're enjoying yourself. What do you think is the reason you're stuck there? What's holding you back? Because you're actively trying to improve and trying to get better and trying to rank up, correct?
Right, yeah. The things that I've been noticing most of the time are I'll get too eager and put myself in bad positioning, and I'll start missing a lot of shots and start just freaking out over it. And by the time I start reining it back in, it's too late. That, and I don't really have a good system for warming up.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. I even heard that you've been trying to play a little bit of competitive to improve as well. Been trying to do CC and stuff. How did that go?
First time I attempted it, we played 4 rounds and got dropped in round at the very, like we were the first team out in round. So not very good, but not horrible either, I guess you could say.
That's fair, that's fair. If you had to pick your one biggest weakness, what would you say it is? Out of everything to do with FPS games or Apex in general, what would you say your biggest weakness?
Honestly, I'd have to say my biggest weakness would be the positioning, just because I put myself out of position trying to do too much too often, and it causes me to die.
And what would your biggest strength be?
Well, being that I switched from controller, I actually am pretty proud of where my aims come and where my movement's at. So my biggest strength would have to probably be my ability for long range fights and my movement.
Okay, gotcha. Fantastic. And do you have any goals in Apex? Like, obviously, you're actively trying to get better, you're actively trying to improve, so you want to rank up. Do you have a goal rank that you want to get to? Do you have any other goals?
Well, currently for this season, I have a pretty big goal. I started the season with 13,000 kills on Watson, and I'm trying to hit 20K by the end of the season.
Fantastic.
It'll be the most I've ever dropped in one season. And if I'm able to accomplish that, I would like to do a ranked grind all season next season to see if I could hit Masters or higher.
Hey, that's awesome as. So when you play ranked specifically, and you're trying to win a game and you're trying to rank up, what usually happens that stops you from winning? What's your biggest issue that you found?
Well, being a solo grinder, I can't really blame my teammates too much. I mean, my goal is to work with them, and if I don't do that, I'm really the only one holding us back, and I feel like that's probably my biggest downfall on that, is I have a problem working with people that may or may not be communicating with me, and it causes me to just get in my head about it, and I'll start making bad decisions, and it generally probably throws the game for my whole team, I'll be honest.
Seems you've been trying to improve for so long. What do you think's like been the block that hasn't let you improve? Do you think it's just not knowing what to do to improve, not knowing what to do to improve on certain aspects of the game? Or what do you think has stopped you from improving? Seems you've been around the same skill level for a while now, because you've been at plat diamond kind of ranked for quite a while.
Since like season 10, yeah.
So what do you think's been stopping you from getting to higher ranks? What's been stopping the improvement?
How to improve. Like, I know what I need to do, but I don't like have any, I guess you could say, direction for it. Like, I don't know when to apply certain mindsets versus other times.
Okay, got ya. Fantastic. 4,000 plus hours is a long time to be stuck in plat, but honestly, it sounds like Donnie's got a really good head on him. He knows he's stuck there, and he has a decent idea why. Plus, it looks like he wants to and he's ready to genuinely improve. So what we're about to do is going to help him a lot. I've gone and got him a coaching session with one of the best coaches in all of Apex. But quickly, today's sponsor, Heroes of History, the best and most unique strategy city building game there is. Perfect for everyone from the novice casual to the die-hard strategic history buff. Heroes of History allows you to build and evolve your own civilization through combat, research, and strategy. In the process, collecting rare heroes of history from the likes of Hercules to Cleopatra, Robin Hood, Julius Caesar, George Washington, over to some more of the questionable ones like Dracula and Blackbeard. My favorite aspect though is just how easy it is to start playing, learning, and having fun. And unlike many other online multiplayer strategy games, you can't be raided or attacked while offline. So the stress is taken out of playing and you can play as little or as long as you want, whenever you like, as you can play it on mobile or browser. No download needed. This game also includes in-game events like its first anniversary event on September 26th, which will include events, activities, and exclusive player favorite heroes as rewards, including the likes of Blackbeard, Alexander the Great, Mozart, Thomas Jefferson, and so many more. But it's a limited time event, so join now. Challenge yourself and take over not only the world, but also history. Click the link in the description or the pinned comment to test your skills. Using the link or scanning the QR code on screen right now supports me, and using promo code 1YearStart gets you 1 legendary antimatter plus a pack of food and scrolls. So what are you waiting for? It's time to rewrite history. Now I'm about to show you the professional coaching session we took Donnie through, but first off, let's have a look at his stats. As you can see, he has 36,000 games played. His highest kills ever in 36,000 games is 16. And he even got his highest ever damage and first 4K ever this season. But now let's jump over to his coaching session. Of course, his coach is going to be the one and only Psykho. Psykho has done thousands and thousands of individual coaching sessions with players just like Donnie, and of course has coached multiple top LAN teams in ALGS finals, with his current team ROC Esports coming second at the most recent ALGS LAN. Now, Psycho's done his research and gone back and looked through Donnie's VODs and all his socials and all his gameplay to see what his biggest weaknesses are. But before he got into those, he wanted to have a quick look at his settings to make sure that there wasn't anything terribly wrong, as this is the simplest and fastest way to change a few things which could be heavily impacting his gameplay, as some settings just shouldn't be there.
I'd say compact is good, button hints is absolutely fine. Crosshair damage feedback, what I would really tell you all that matters is actually having that just like off, because even though it's like you would think, okay, it's not going to show me shield or it's not going to show me this or that, it's going to show you the shield and it's going to show you the damage. What it will take away though is that little crosshair like bloom, like the hit marker. So when you hit something, you're not having that like in your face anymore. You just kind of have just the armor, just the shield.
Oh, okay.
Get rid of more visual clutter that you don't need on your screen, basically.
I kind of wondered what that did, so that makes sense.
That's what it does. So enemy health bar enabled is very good. Your ping opacity is fine. Enemy highlight enabled is good. Obituaries, you have that on, good. The weapon auto cycle on empty. Oh boy, this thing is a curse. I hate this one. So what essentially happens is if you have a gun and then you empty that gun, right? And then you try to shoot again with that empty gun, it'll automatically swap to your other gun. Doesn't matter if it's empty or has bullets or whatever. If the gun has no bullets and you try to fire with it, it's gonna swap to the other gun by itself, versus you controlling that. But there's times there's like ammo on the floor. There's times that you don't necessarily want to like swap weapons and you want to like holster instead and then like, you know, run around the corner or something. So this is the game basically forcing its choice upon you of you're swapping guns if you have no ammo in that gun, and versus you doing it yourself on your own timing. So I would turn that off is my recommendation.
All right, I'll give it a shot.
So
as I said, I'm here to get better. I'll take all advice. Okay, this is something I've been kind of curious about now that I've got a couple high-level people. Reticle color, how important is that? Because I like to turn it to the pink setting, and I mean, I've never really noticed much of a difference, but I have buddies that swear that like they've taken it from the generic white or red or whatever and changed it to a specific color, and it always makes it like 100% better, but I've never really...
So I actually looked into this, funny enough. So there is some science towards what reticle colors can be a little bit more useful versus others. the one that you have on right now is one of those colors, but a lot of if somebody asked me specifically like what's really good given the environment of how Apex is colored, plus giving you something to focus on, it would be like a cyan blue, like a very light blue.
Okay.
That scientifically is made to kind of get your like attention through your eye. There was some like studies conducted upon like the colors, but also at the same time, it's just generally healthy in terms of Apex because the only thing that's really blue is probably going to be like the sky, but even then it's like a darker blue. It's not even that much of a light blue.
Okay.
So yeah, I hope that kind of answers that question. Definitely a random good question though. I don't think people really think about that. Okay, so let's jump into the meat and potatoes. Let's go to your keyboard and mouse.
From here, Psykho went over the rest of his settings, which were all pretty normal and expected, maybe apart from this movement one. And while he did suggest that could be changed, he also said it's very important to keep what you find comfortable. On the note of settings as well, both Psykho and myself have put out videos in the past on what the best and most ideal settings are for Apex, so feel free to check those out. Now, prior to this recording, or I guess coaching session that we have here with Donnie, Psykho went and did his homework. He researched Donnie. He went through his socials from his YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, etc. to get a basic, broad, starting point understanding of his skill level and where he might need help, along with pinpointing times in his recent VODs that he can go over and show Donnie what he's doing wrong and how he can improve on it. But before we get to that, it was time to test some of Donnie's raw skills, especially relevant to the current Apex meta.
Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and test a few things that are relevant for this type of gun meta, so that way we can understand how your gunplay is and how your aim is as well. So what I'm gonna have you do is I'm gonna have you pick up a scout. So go and pick up a scout.
Oh no.
So right now the meta is really based upon poking, right? We have weapons like the 30-30, weapons like the charge rifle, weapons like the G7 Scout. Especially in competitive Apex, this tends to be what we're using. But it's all about the fact that it does really high damage and you can do it from a really far range and you're able to kind of take down targets and then close the gap.
So for this, basically, Psykho was testing his mid-range, his flicking, micro adjustments, target acquisition, pacing of his shots, overall accuracy, and just how comfortable he looked using certain guns. Up next, it was PK time as well. PK is one of the strongest legends in the game right now, and just a fundamental of a mouse and keyboard player's gameplay.
Okay, so try as accurately as possibly as you can, right? Take your pacing into account too. I would say do it with no bolt for now, because that'll really make you think about it. So go ahead, just run up to these targets and try to hit them as best as you can. Just be mindful of your pacing. So, be mindful, right? A little too fast, okay? You can calm down a little bit. Remember, you don't have a shotgun bolt here, so it's really important to be a little slower on that. I can see it in your VOD too. Sometimes you rush it a little too much. Give it a little bit more pacing. It's really a lot of strafe aiming, to be honest with you, with these. Because you only need to hit the one shot.
From here, Psykho took him through the extreme fundamentals of basic strafing, from mirroring to counter mirroring, and then explained to him how and why he should be putting crouch spams in with his strafing.
So obviously what we're getting is a slightly thinner crosshair, right? And that's kind of what we're engaging with. We're engaging with the thinner crosshair, but we're also engaging with the fact that we're moving. It is a little different in this day and age because we don't have helmets, and usually crouch spamming gets you domed. But if you're at enough like kind of close range and you're sort of just trying to bob and weave at the same time while like shooting, it definitely can be like useful. What you want to combine that with is your mirroring and your counter mirroring for sure, and just doing it properly. So that's really the big thing.
Like, so, okay, backup question of that. Does like the frequency at which you crouch spam matter? Because I see some people that are like, oh yeah, you gotta like sit there and spam the crap out of it for it to matter, and then there's other people that say, nah, just, you know, the occasional crouch does the same thing, and I don't know. What would your take on that be?
And it's better, in my opinion, just simply because like we're not just abusing it for the fact of like, oh, we want our crosshair and our spray to be thinner, right? Like that's the people that do like this whole thing. If you look behind you, people that do this, like that's why they do that. But the big thing I think is more important about it to combine is basically being able to be a little unpredictable while still having that advantage. So I don't think it's necessarily a great idea to just be doing this, but I do think it's a good idea to be doing a little bit of. So this is PK meta, right? And obviously, you're a PK type of guy. So,
Yep.
so how much do you really utilize the jump crouch, aspects of utilizing the PK?
Like, to just kind of understand, like when you jump and like actually, does the crouch actually do something?
So it's about being able to have two things, okay? So number one, let me go grab one myself. All right. So number one, stand here. Okay. Now, let's say you and I do a little bit of this. Go ahead. Just mirror each other. So if you and I do a little bit of this, that's great. That's grand. Okay. But the thing is, this is going to keep us trapped in one area. That's a problem in its own. Secondary to that, right? We're basically, on even ground. One of us are hoping that the other will crowd spam. One of us are hoping that the other one's going to strafe this way or that way. But one of us are going to end up hitting each other for 80 or 100, and it's just going to be like, whatever. It's like first come, first serve. I saw you first. You saw me first. Maybe who's accurate, whatever, right? That sucks, though. So the big thing I always say about the PK, because you got to cock it, and because of the things I just mentioned prior, I usually like to go ahead and jump and then crouch, because then it also allows me to dive back into some form of cover while essentially shooting you, right? But on top of that, this is the big thing about the jump crouch, if you stand here again for a second. So if I do this, obviously, it's a little harder for you to think about, hey, I'm going to go ahead and do that. That's one thing. Great, awesome. But if you go ahead and do it, go ahead and just jump. You don't even have to move, just jump. So if you jump and then you look down on me, go ahead and look down at me when you do that, right? You can basically get a better headshot out of it if you angle it enough the correct way, right? You notice that? So now let's say you get a good headshot off and I get a good body shot off. I hit you for 80, you hit me for 100. What's more likely to be better, right? You want to hit me for 100, right? Not 80. Basically, now we have a strafe that's going to put us in potentially a different position while at the same time giving us enough height, enough basically lateral, movement more or less, that's going to get us a headshot. We want that. Jumping again can be predictable, but using it at the right moment in the right situation where you again can get a little bit of that verticality while at the same time being able to reposition, that's very valuable. The big thing is we want to be the aggressors. The reason why we want to be the aggressors is because we want our opponent to react to us. The more momentum and tempo that we have, the more likely we're going to win the fight. Versus the other way around, if we're playing reactive and we have to predict everything that they have to do, it kind of is slower for us. We're not going to be able to do that perfectly every time, and therefore we're more likely to lose the fight because of the unpredictability and because of how fast it is of a situation.
Fair enough.
After this, Psykho had Donnie position himself between a few moving targets so that he could see his tracking along with his target acquisition of them.
Challenging yourself is extremely important. So I would always say with those cold hands of yours that you usually refer to, getting a good warm-up, a small little routine, something you could spend 10, 15 minutes on can make all the difference. Very good. Just keep doing that in quick succession.
Oh, that was bad. That was horrible. Focus.
See, that's the tough part, right? Being able to go from one target to the other in very fast succession. So this is basically a test of two things. It's a test of target acquisition, and it's a test of tracking both at the same time. And good players are able to utilize their game sense of where they think a target might be, while at the same time basically being reactive to the target too. And acquiring very quickly.
So, as you saw, Psykho went over some fundamentals of Apex there and got a rough idea of how certain aspects of Donnie's game was, from his flicking, tracking, positioning, pacing, etc. Along with this, giving him tips, ways to improve, and drills on how to improve this. I couldn't include all that in the video because this would be like a million-year-long video. But from everything Psykho saw there, he did have this to say about Donnie.
Yeah, so his mechanical ability is definitely on par with what I would say is a diamond/platinum player. Definitely on the lower end of said spectrum. I think part of it is because he has a hardware that's not fully supporting his actual mechanical talent. But I also think at the same time that he could definitely practice more outside of the game, potentially doing a little bit more in terms of the warm-ups, which will allow him to be successful. Because you can see, even with the disadvantage that he does have, he once sort of warming up to a target or warming up to a way of aiming or, trying to do something, he does warm up to it very quickly, and then he can do it really accurately. So if he continues to kind of give himself a little bit of that warm up time, I think it'll increase. But his general skill seems to be on par, honestly, for the skill level that he's at. But I do believe his ceiling is generally higher. He just needs better equipment, and he needs to actually be a little bit more intentional about practicing before he plays. That's all.
And if he was to practice, say you wanted to spend 15, 20 minutes, half an hour every day before he started playing pubs and stuff, would you recommend just doing those tasks that you did, just those target acquisitions, flicking from target to target, shooting those targets and practicing tracking them, just like turning the bots on to shoot back maybe even, and just playing around using cover and shoot them just to warm up every day? Would you recommend stuff like that?
So yeah, I mean, I made a. Can I plug?
Yeah, no, 100% you can, 100%.
So I made a entire video that works in R5 specifically, which I think is really good for mechanical improvement. Specifically, just dealing with the targets. So I think doing a bit of R5 and doing the targets there, and then also doing the 1v1s in there are good. But if you want to take more of just an easier sort of route, some of the drills that I actually showed him today are also in that video.
Yep.
And they essentially are about, flicking, tracking, target acquisition. They're about these basic things. And absolutely, I think if a player spends, that 10, 15 minutes or so to go ahead and do that before they start playing, I do believe they can get more invigorated into the process. It just creates more of a focus on an isolated set of mechanics that then in the game can just be like translated and focused on. Like mechanics are second nature to pro players and really good players, just simply because they've basically gotten into a routine where they understand how they get themselves into that focus. That's why you'll see, players do aim training or do some type of warm up before they play. It's very common.
And now we jump forward to Psykho actually reviewing Donnie's gameplay, talking to Donnie to understand his thought process on certain situations, and then helping show him other alternatives and how he could have done something better.
Your teammates are going through it.
Yeah, that's kind of the bane of my existence. Because I do try to consider myself a higher level player, I'll end up like getting the lowest ELO lobbies of all time, and it's like I'm just out here fighting the whole lobby most of the time.
Yeah, no, that I completely can understand. So right here, again, like we have, a couple people running, they're going to try to go towards the choke, and then you have, this guy that ends up setting over here. So the thing is, right now, you're going to end up putting yourself in, a gunfight versus more than one person. So that means that it's not always necessarily going to be easy, especially if there ends up being like 3 people, right? 2, a little bit more handleable, but we know it's likely that these guys have a teammate just simply because of the fact that it is wild card. They're probably going to have 2 people up, and one person's either going to spawn and land on your head anyways, or they're going to be up and active as is. So this is going to be a very hard fight for you to take. Let's see kind of how you handle it, right? So 108, pretty good, right? This guy ends up basically creating this MOBA market and everything like that. What I would say is, for the sake of killing this person quicker, I would honestly make sure we hit this shot real well. But the next person that we're going to have to deal with, we might want to swap guns for. It just depends. So it's either hit that shot really well or take out the other guns that are a little bit more predictable for that and hitting it, right? So you have sort of those 2 choices. Now, he is 1-1. Holy hell. What I would probably encourage you to do here, once you get a little bit of that cock off with the PK, jiggle peek off the left. Because if he's shooting over here on your right, he's probably trying to look to swing this way, honestly.
Okay.
But if you re-peek him in the same direction that he's shooting you in, he's probably just going to end up swapping whatever gun, right? And trying to slide at you at the same time. What probably could have happened here, too, because you have 3 people, remember. If you had done what I said, you probably could jiggle peek and maybe 2-pump this kid if that was like God's miracle. Like that would be
Yeah,
like
I swear.
the scenario, right? The best
With
scenario
how my
would
aim was,
be-
that's literally a miracle.
the best scenario would be you peek from the left. This guy comes about. He probably slides, tries to go past you or whatever, or he like runs in front of you. You double pump him. The next guy, that's your challenge. Because you basically are fighting on a box. You've killed one person, but it's taken you a little bit of time to do that. We have to then kill another person in quick succession and then get ready to fight a third. That is really, really hard. So at max, you probably get a better chance at like killing two. And maybe then hopefully your teammates will, stop hugging their little rock over there and they'll come help you. But right now, the big issue that I'm seeing is you just re-peaked a certain position that they know that they want to essentially go for and look at. And the problem with that is he's definitely just gonna go for it. And you're already missing like part of your armor and everything like that too. It's just not worth an immediate like repeak. Also, if you were gonna repeak, like you want to make it a jiggle peek and you want to make it really quick. The way that this box is slanted, it's not really to the advantage to do that, to be honest. But I definitely just wouldn't even bother repeaking this guy. I'd rather repeak him
Yeah,
from a different
especially not
angle.
swinging out that far. Like watching it back, I definitely see swinging out that far definitely hindered my ability to get back into cover right here.
Yeah, exactly. So the box is slanted, mind you, too. So it's still a little weird, but I definitely wouldn't want you out here like that, especially on somewhere he's already trying to shoot.
As a Watson main, I have a suggestion as well. You're playing on a box with people pushing you through the open. You can easily place fences around that box, which give you a massive buffer zone and make it so much harder for them to push you, which then gives you so much time to peek either side and do damage to them as they try and push you, because they either have to not push you or shoot out your fences, which gives you so much time to shoot them. Or if they try and push through your fences as you're placing them, you stun them, and then you can just pump them or P20 them.
Right.
You also,
I will say I've seen you guys doing that a lot.
Yeah, if you placed your fences around them, which is super easy, because you can place one node out to the right, and then while you're behind cover, you can place the other node out to the left, and it puts a big fence up across them, and they can't do much. That also gives you time and space where you could throw like a vert nade, for example, you could back off, you could do so much. I feel like ability usage in this situation exactly here, as Watson, would have been big.
Absolutely, I agree.
When you're playing any type of character, understanding the premise of that character is what's going to allow you to succeed on them. When it comes down to Watson or Catalyst or Rampart, Caustic and stuff like that, their whole thing is being able to literally control area. That's why they're called like controller characters, right? They're designed to control a certain degree of space, and understanding how the positioning of that space can work. So definitely when it comes down to the utility usage here, you could make it so you're a little bit harder to push with the utilization of those fences, absolutely. And I'm sure there's going to be later scenarios too that we might be able to point out. You could probably use your gen better, so that way you can avoid ordinances, or you can kind of heal, or you can get more fences down in a certain type of way. So I'm sure we'll run across that. But that is absolutely a good scenario where you can definitely utilize some form of fences across, so that way you can stop somebody from pushing you. But definitely both are important. The raw mechanics of it are important, but also giving yourself some space is also. So what do you think you could do differently or better on this?
I'm gonna go around.
Oh, this is where we all get locked in that building, isn't it? Oh, I think I know what's about to happen. If this is where I'm thinking, they end up like having 2 or 3 people just underneath that platform there, and there's a big fight about to erupt underneath.
Okay.
I might be thinking of a different game though. Oh nope, they're in there.
Oh, that guy is. Oh. So
Had to reload. Didn't reload. I'm an idiot.
So first thing I'll tell you, right, is this. So when you go ahead and you jump down right here, there's still technically the whole issue of people being in this choke. And then there's the issue of people being inside of here. So the thing is,
Right.
I'd rather you not jump off immediately off of this height. I'd rather you use the head glitch that's going to be on top of this small shack right here first. Use the head glitch here first, look at the choke, right? Shoot whoever's in the choke. If you need them to back off or back up or whatever, that's fine. Also, on top of this, when you're up here and you know you're not going to get shot at from here, you can place your fences down horizontally right here from the top.
Okay.
You can basically, from the top, just put them on the bottom, because you can look down and you could put the fences down.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying now.
You can even argue that this wouldn't be a placement for Gen right here too, because if they try to throw nades on top of the platform, then you basically are safe from that. But you're also getting healed a little bit more by your Gen too, so that if you are having to engage or something like that over here, or it's something along that line, you can basically get some health off. Maybe you go down here and you do the challenge, and you're like, okay, I really took a lot of damage for that or whatever. Your Gen can obviously help you in that position, but also like if you want to go back up and like hug it or whatever, that's also possible. So that's something I would probably argue in terms of utility usage, but also in terms of the positioning that you're in, so that way you're not risking anything. Because you drop down here beforehand and you get killed by somebody in the choke, it's already messed up, right? Or you get shot by somebody from the
Right.
choke, and then somebody like gets an angle from over here on you, or they swing out or something like that because they're stupid. Maybe they're part of the same team, perhaps. I don't think they are, obviously, but something like that can happen. You don't want that. You don't want to risk it. So take the conservative position first, get your information, and then work off of it from here. That's how you play it. You are definitely good at getting out of your comfort zone here, but it could be effective or a little bit more paced, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I do stuff like that, is to try and see that, where I can do better. So having someone like actually pinpoint where I can do better it definitely is going to help.
Absolutely. So remember I talked about with the pacing, right? It's an immediate shot right after, but there's still cover right there, and they're still trying to utilize it, and you're trying to shoot through a little sliver. Give it a second. Go for it afterwards. You don't want to miss the second pump for no reason. You're doing it automatically, but you can take your time a little bit. So I don't know what that guy's doing, but it's not it. Like everything he stands for is just not it. Like he's
that Valkyrie or whatever it was.
The Sparrow is the Sparrow.
Sparrow, yeah. He's not real.
He's the opposite. So immediately, right? You go into immediate panic mode. Now you're having to basically work out, having to cock your PK and everything. So, right?
The
So
fact
right here,
just
he
walked
swings
through
out.
that still mind boggles me.
So he swings out, right? Now you can decide if you're gonna go for this shot, right? Or you can decide if you're gonna go back over here for a second, reevaluate, and then get the shot. The thing is, I believe you're not the only one that's shooting them. I'd have to look again for a second. Obviously, I'd feel it in the moment, but...
Yeah, right there from the right, someone else started shooting. I didn't even notice that.
And
I'm not even gonna lie.
so imagine, right? Like at the end of the day, I know this choke is a threat. I'm very paranoid of this choke as a whole. So for me, I'm like, okay, like I can get a shot from the side. Now let's say you went inward and you were trying to like kill him like that way, like barrel stuff him and then utilize the shack as sort of a reset and the stairs and all that stuff. That wouldn't be terrible. But obviously you'd have to immediately like hit the shot more or less. But you're already rushing yourself as is, and there's a lot of blood like pumping, so you just gotta be mindful.
Even right there, I look at myself. I'm like, why did I take that shot?
Right, and even then, you took cover behind the pillar a little bit. You didn't even swap guns. You're loading your gun again. This is where I said like the gen can come in handy too, you know. Like let's say we got that up here, you already be healing in the mess, right? And you did say you did take a shot from over here, and it got really really bad. Well, at least you have a better chance of living when there's a gen up here. So. Oh, the ego.
With like 3 more shots.
Oh no.
Calling myself out for it happens. I'm like, I missed like 3 more shots too.
So if you're gonna hit it with full intention. Even if you like I'd rather like this is the way I look at it, right? You can reset up there. You have a moment, and mind you still can be getting shot from the right if you do this again. So take your time, reset it out, make sure that you're good to go. Because if you go down here and you want to go ahead and shoot this guy, you got to be him about it. Like you have to be willing to get pumped and pump him at the same time. You know what I mean? But you can't do that if you're not healthy.
I also can't do that if you're whiffing shots like that.
Yes, both of those two things matter. But if he's any good, right, he's gonna hit you. You're not full.
I'd have been punished by now for sure.
Exactly. And imagine if he hits you even just a little bit, and he's not good about it, but then you get shot in your side too on top of it. How'd you feel?
Like an idiot for sure.
There you go.
I won't even sugarcoat it. I feel like a straight idiot at that rate.
Oh my god, what a grenade. I got him.
See, like right here, if I had Gen, it probably would have went behind the car. I'm not
Yeah.
sure about you, Birno.
No, it would have.
So one small thing here, you can utilize your nade here.
I could have, yeah. It would have been a good spot for it. At least drive them off that peak, if anything.
Yeah, exactly. That little slope, basically like pushing them back, like getting it down over here. It's going to force them to basically sit there and eat it, or force them to come out more in the open. And that would be really good for you. You can throw it pretty much off this, off this truck at them, and that'll basically eliminate some of their space for sure. If they try to come at you or whatever too, then you get a fence situation down for sure. Definitely ideal.
Ugh, horrible shots.
Hey, they're dead.
I critique myself so hard when it comes down to it.
Technically, coming down this, you hit like 108. You hit like a couple more bullets after that too. Like you basically kind of destroyed them on the top of this level.
After this, there was a couple more fights with a lot of valuable information Psykho gave towards Donnie, but for the sake of the length of this video, I'm going to skip past that and go to the last fight of the game. Yeah.
Oh, see, now I got a Spitfire.
Yeah, now you can play the game.
Oh,
I can appreciate what that Watson did, but I think the fences just need. It didn't work. I think the fences just need to be a little bit like closer towards the zip, honestly.
Something I found for those platforms is put them more in the middle, because you control where they have to land. So if you set them in the middle of that platform, they literally have to land either right on the very edge or push like I did to the very middle.
Exactly, and that also guards that zip line too. That's why I was saying, like, if you place them further back, that probably works out for him. But he's definitely not done that. He's not done his Watson homework. And you,
if I just would have brought the flick back, if I just would have re-aimed that and brought the flick back, that'd have been beautiful.
You rush your PK shots.
You do.
I have the even worse of a problem with it with the Mastiff.
ADS!
Please! Oh!
The high ground's good. The high ground's good.
I like this. I like this a lot.
Put your gen down instantly? Oh.
Please?
Nope, I'm a bot.
So is he.
I see. Yeah. So I would have slammed Gen, jiggled around it, and tried to place some fences up there.
Yep.
That's what I probably would have done.
I do that sometimes, but right there was not a good example.
I did like.
Oh yeah, that was 2 in a row, Jay.
No, that's not a bad game at all, but definitely some things that we noticed, right? So key things that we could note. Number one, making sure that we're maintaining the flexible loadout the best we can. Number two, utilizing Watson's kit in terms of allowing yourself to gain more space, right? When you're on the aggressive, you can gain some space. When you're on the defensive and you want to gain some space, you can do that. We can definitely just put more fences down that'll cover area that'll stop people from either pushing us or allow us to get up close to them and then still allow them not to push us when we've gained that space. So you can be offensive and, defensive about it. Then on top of that, right, we talked about this PK situation. 2 things about it. Number one, you tend to rush the shot a bit. You can definitely be a little slower, take into account how long it's going to take you to cock, take into account, what you're swinging versus what they're swinging. Take into account also how many bullets you have in the gun. On the other side of that, we can use it just straight up as an opener. It doesn't always has to be the de facto killing machine. We can basically use it as that one pump opener, whether we miss it or not, or whether we hit or not, and then switching off to our secondary. We're being a little too greedy with it. We can definitely switch off to our secondary more often. So that's definitely something to take into account there. Also, opposite enemy angles. Like when we're fighting, in general, no matter if it's wildcard, pubs, or ranked or whatnot, we have to be mindful that there's more than just one team. and we have to be mindful of the angles of more than just one team on us. We don't want to be dropping down into a situation where we potentially can just get ourselves shot in the side, and then our game just is over because we decided to ignore the immediate threat and the immediate danger. We play conservative. We try to take into account all the threats that are there, and then we go into the fight knowing exactly what is potentially going to pop off or where our threat is. So you can play it slower. Make sure you are not going to get shot on the side for sure. The gen placement, as we kind of talked about on top of that too. Gen's going to allow you to get a little bit of that health. It's going to stop people from throwing the ordinances at you, but it can be put down as a way to ensure that you keep your space. People can break your fences. People can throw nades at your fences. People can go ahead and use abilities that go ahead and break your fences or make them, superfluous or useless, right? If these sparrows that you've been fighting lately that are going up against you use their ults more effectively, then you wouldn't necessarily be alive. If a sparrow throws an ult behind the truck that you were taking cover from earlier, in those emergency situations where you're just taking a lot of damage and people are just actively trying to kill you, if you find yourself in a safe spot for a moment, try to make it so you can actually just reset, right? You don't have to necessarily ego everything, right? Let your teammates do a little bit of the work for you, and see if you can get them to bait themselves too sometimes. Just be mindful of where they are on the map, especially when they're random players. But besides that, in terms of the baselines of some of the things that you are playing and you are doing, I can see the intuition of a good player, and that comes with the amount of work and hours that you have put in. So be proud of what you're able to do so far, but those are some really good notes of some things that you can do differently that I think will improve your gameplay overall for sure.
All right.
Now he's gonna go into wildcard today, and he's gonna drop a 4K, and he's gonna set.
I believe. And this all definitely did help, because 2 weeks after this, I sent Donnie another message to check up on how he was doing, and he said he had improved so much. He was dropping so many more kills, getting so much more damage, and being so close to his 20 bomb while consistently dropping 4 and 5k games. Whereas in the past, he only just got his first ever 4k, and they were an extreme rarity to get. He'd been making sure that he warms up before he plays like Psykho told him to. He'd been focusing on some drills that Psykho gave him to improve as well. And with all this, also took on board how Psykho taught him to review his own gameplay, where he watches it back, notices what he does wrong, breaks it down into each little component of what he did wrong, and then works on part of it at a time. Also, as you can see at the end of this message here, during this meeting, Psykho found out that Donnie was only $20 away from buying a brand new mouse, because the mouse he had at the moment was a cheap, $20 one that was really bad. He couldn't even change the DPI on it, and he was playing at a ridiculous mouse setting. So Psykho gave him the money to buy a brand new mouse. Here's a picture of the new mouse. Donnie absolutely loves it. So big up Psykho, big up Donnie. As for all you guys watching, I hope this video helped you in some way. If you like this kind of content, let me know, and maybe I can do more of it in the future, because I kind of like it myself. As always, keep being awesome, keep being amazing, much love, and I'll see you guys again soon.